Hey y'all, so I'm out here in Zimbabwe, in Harare, and look at the grocery store. They got a grocery store. It's beautiful. It's beautiful in a grocery store. Look at these organic strawberries.
This video really had me upset because along with other people, because I really couldn't believe that in 2024, did this come out in 2024? I think it was like a year or two ago. I couldn't believe that in 2024 people did not know that Africa has supermarkets. She really seemed like she was really surprised to see a supermarket in an African country. Even saying that, oh, it doesn't smell bad. Oh, they have organic strawberries. Yes, darling, we have organic strawberries. We have organic everything. Like, that's the hub to find it. Anyways, she cleared it up and she said that she was trying to like break the stereotype of what people think about Africa. And in that sense, I could see how it was kind of funny. But then again, this just goes to show how a lot of people still see Africa as this country with no supermarkets. If we don't have supermarkets, where are we going to buy our food? Yes, we have markets that we go to, but we also have supermarkets, just like any other country or continent in the world. But then this gets you thinking, like, what else do people think about Africa? Let's find out.
Things I didn't know about Africa before going to Kenya as an American. And yes, I say Africa because I'm talking about Africa as a whole right now. I did go to Kenya. I've been to Tanzania as well, but I'm going to talk about all of Africa first, so don't come at me yet.
I'm glad she mentioned that Kenya is a part of Africa, but she wants to talk about the whole of Africa because some people still don't know that Africa is a continent in 2025.
So I found out that my school taught me nothing about Africa as a continent, at all. And so I think until I was about 18 years old, I didn't even realize that Egypt was in Africa. This is really embarrassing, by the way. So I'm I know a lot more now, obviously.
I'm glad when people are not afraid to show other people that, you know what, this is what I used to think, but I was wrong about what I thought. But hey, it's not my fault. It's because I was not taught these things in school. But now I'm more aware. And I think there's something great about owning up to that.
I thought that Africa was all the bush and just had roaming animals everywhere. And what's crazy is even when I come back home or tell people I've been to Kenya, they're like, oh, did you see lions roaming around? And I'm like, no. I didn't know that Africa had such beautiful coasts. Some of the coasts are some of the prettiest beaches I've ever seen. I didn't realize it was so tropical. I mean, it's obviously a huge continent and there's so many different climates, but I just truly knew nothing about it. That's kind of why I've been sharing what I've found out about Kenya, because it's probably my favorite country and I just want everybody to know about it because it's seriously just so cool.
I don't know why people have this perception that there are lions and zebras and giraffes roaming around the streets of Africa. Yes, we do have wildlife, we have safaris, we have game reserves where you can find these animals. And on rare occasions, you can find that an animal has made its way to a residential area. Things like that do happen. But I always get so surprised when people say oh, do you have lions walking around? A friend of mine now says, yes, we have lions walking around and we ride elephants to work. I mean, come on, guys. These are wild animals. They're dangerous. No, they have their place. We have our place. These are dangerous animals.
What do you mean? What do you hear when you think of Africa, bro?
Got no water.
What do you hear when you think of Africa?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Hear me when you hear Africa?
Yep, now I do. Forget Burner Boy, it's all about you.
Exactly.
I love how Burna Boy is now the symbol of Africa. But it's also great because it shows how the music, African music, has kind of opened up the view into Africans in a way. People outside have been able to see so much more because of the music that's out there, the music videos and all these artists going overseas. It does kind of help them become more interested, and maybe it pushes them to do research and actually find out more about African countries. Something that he said though was there's no water. That is one of the most common stereotypes and misconceptions people have about African countries, like there's no water. So if there is no water, how do people bath? What do we drink? How do we survive? You know, some of this is just like basic knowledge. That's why people get upset. Like when we hear these things, it's like basic knowledge. I would never hear of another continent and immediately think that there is no water there. Yet people think that about Africa. Isn't that strange?
Since I moved to Sweden, I've been hearing Africa poor, Africa poor, Africa poor. How is it that a nation that lives under credit is calling Africa poor? Don't bash me, I'm gonna give you an example, okay? In Uganda, if you see someone walking around with an iPhone 12, they paid cash for it. If you see someone having a house, they built it cash. If you see someone driving a car, it's cash. Because in the world where I come from, if you don't have the money, then you can't buy. We don't have credit. Take example, Sweden. I can go to a shop, get an iPhone 12, credit. House, credit. Car, credit. Everything is credit. Even underwear, you can get it on credit. So technically, if you lose your job, you lose everything and you can go to the streets, okay? In Uganda, if you lose your job, you get to keep everything. You'll just worry, where am I going to get money for school fees? Then it came to me like, how the hell that people who live in credit call people who pay cash poor?
Whew, well, she said a lot of things that I didn't even think of. Well, when it comes to the credit thing, it really depends on the country. I think things are progressing more, and in certain countries, you find that people now are using credit. Like in South Africa, people have credit cards, but it's not a norm. In other countries like Malawi, you find that a lot of people just deal with cash. Okay, I grew up that way. I didn't grow up on credit. If we wanted something, we had to wait till we had the money to buy it. I mean, buying underwear on credit, like, that's a bit extreme. But I kind of get what she's saying. Like, we don't have that mentality of using credit to get what we want. If we want to buy land and we want to build a house, most of the time we're going to work hard, save that money to get the land, and then save money to build that house. Our first instinct is not credit. We don't, that's not how we operate. And it has its pros and its cons. I think it's great to not live on credit, but then sometimes you might need it, right? It is true that there is poverty in Africa, but there is poverty everywhere.
Would you like to visit Africa?
I would absolutely like to visit Africa. I will say back in the day, I did not because it was more of a commercialized thing that in Africa it was very poor.
Yes.
Most people are hungry. You always see the little kids with the belly and the flies on them. And so it was painted as a horrible place. And then as I got older, I realized like Africa is actually very beautiful. There's a lot of money in Africa and a lot of white people have found Africa before we did. So they have a lot of business over there. They're starting to try to westernize certain places. And so me as a person in America, because I don't want to say African American, but a person in America needs to get on board with Africa.
Media has such a huge impact on the way we see certain things, right? And it's true that the media tends to, or used to, like promote Africa with children, like she said, who were in bad situations. It looked like a dirty place. It was just all negative, right? You would see an ad about Africa filled with negativity. And it's the complete opposite for us in Africa. When we see an ad about Paris or New York, we see the great things, the beauty, the Eiffel Tower, the skyscrapers, the food, you know, the American dream, the money. It's all the positive things. And we tend to believe that, which is why a lot of people want to go abroad or wanted to go abroad, because I think things are kind of changing now, but people wanted to go abroad because it looked like the perfect place to be. And then the role is reversed now when they show African countries. Until you actually do your own research or take the time to go on vacation, that's when now the opinions of people start to change, because they're like, wow, actually, this place, this is better than what they tell us. This is like, I could live here. Hence, we have a lot of people immigrating to African countries now as digital nomads, because it's beautiful, it's cheaper for them, and it's more peaceful. Anyways, guys, this is what people think about Africa in 2025. I hope that the perception of people will continue to change, and people will see that Africa is actually an amazing continent made out of many different countries. And once you go there, you will always want to go back.